So last night we talked about the rumor about the Vikings potentially trading up and taking a wide receiver at 14. But today we're going to talk about trading down. And I can already hear the comments now. He's saying trade up and trade down. He's trying to hedge his bets and cover all the bases. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's what we do. But in general, I am team trade down. Basically, in every situation, try and get as many raffle tickets as possible. Like unless you're hitting one of the clear pipe hitters, nail drivers day one, and getting a starter from day one, a potential Pro Bowler and maybe more. Grab him for sure. But if you're not going to land one of those elite prospects, I say get as many tickets as possible. Try and win Powerball with 14 tickets as opposed to 7. You know what I mean? But if you're in a spot where there's a bunch of names that you all like equally, it is an opportunity to trade back, because also some teams may have a different big board than you. They may see prospects differently based on their scouting as well as their needs. So maybe a position of plenty for you is a position of need for someone else. All of a sudden that drives demand, could potentially move down. I think the Vikings are really set up to move out at 22 and 25 if they're so inclined, which would be great. I mean, this draft, a lot like a lot of drafts, frankly, there is going to be a lot of sexiness taken between, say, the 25th and the 60th overall pick. Like there's going to be just a really nice band of just really sexy players at key positions that will be early contributors that are going to be in that part of the draft. And that happens a lot every year, where once you get past the elite prospects, which can be boom or bust, there's some really damn solid value there. And frankly, there's just more of them. I mean, that's just a numbers game. That's how the bell curve works. There's a lot more in the middle as opposed to top tier guys. Actually, no, there's a lot of bad guys too, so maybe it's not a bell curve, but you know what I mean. But frankly, this year, if I had the choice between the Vikings 2 picks at 22-25 and say 3 picks in the top of the second round, so you can set it up so that it works out trade value wise. I would take the 3 picks. I really would. And now you're thinking, well, you're giving up 2 first rounders for 2 top of the second round picks, or 3 top of the second round picks? Yes, I certainly would. But the Vikings right now are in prime trade back position because, let's say a certain quarterback, say Jordan Love or somehow Justin Herbert falls. I mean, it's certainly possible. Unlikely, but it is possible. These things do happen on draft day. And so the Patriots just sitting there chilling. 23 overall, likely to go quarterback, and a team that is looking to add either Jordan Love or potentially Justin Herbert if he falls that far, or maybe even Jake Fromm. I mean, let's really get weird here. They'll know that the Patriots will be dialed in. So maybe they'll leapfrog, and all of a sudden there's a little bit of demand there at 22 overall for the Vikings. And also, I mean, Belichick's no dummy. Like, if he's clearly telegraphing that they're going to take a quarterback, which right now he has Brian Hoyer as a starter. Also, they have like $2 of cap space, so I don't see them adding Cam unless they move some money around. #Cabs a myth. So Belichick will know that if he doesn't move up to 22 to get the quarterback, someone else will. So that creates a nice little market for the Vikings there, as well as we've seen a bunch of these national drafts where it is Yetur Gross-Matos, the edge from Penn State. He's being mocked to the Vikings, where it's not a great edge class. It is extremely top heavy. You got Chase Young, you got Clavon Chason, and then you got Matos and Espinenza, and then you could throw the Wisconsin kid Bond in there as well. Sure. So even though I like Gross-Matos, I wouldn't be overly upset if he is the pick, if he is BPA. But, I mean, I would ransom him off to a team that is very needy at edge, just because, frankly, the cupboard for the Vikings at edge with the Fadi and company is a lot less empty than, say, wide receiver, cornerback, or offensive line. So the fact that you could potentially get some really nice draft value for a team who wants to come up against one of the last remaining decent edges in this class, I say go for it. I say 100% go for it. And so say the Vikings 22-25, you're looking at the big board with Spielman. Say there's 5 receivers, Mims, Higgins, Chenault, Ayuk, Jalen Reagor, etc. Or 5 cornerbacks that they have graded pretty similar. Or say 2 to 3 tackles, because there won't be any interior offensive linemen. Blah, blah, blah. But say they're all graded pretty equally, and they have to pick. I mean, theoretically, they would be reaching, wouldn't they? Just because of all that band of players, just because there's so many of them, theoretically pushes them down a big board. So now, if the Vikings do have to stand pat and say that they're selecting from a group of players from, like we said, from the 20 to 60 range, where they're all pretty similar value approximately. I mean, the Vikings, it will appear that they're reaching. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked that, say the Vikings do pick at 22, 25. The fans at the Miller Lite draft party. Wait, there's not the Miller Lite draft party at home. Will just be like, I would have traded back there. That's a reach. That's a reach. That's a reach. Just because I think there's going to be very similar value to a bunch of picks that go between 20 and 60. So I think, frankly, the Vikings do have that prime opportunity to turn 2 first-round picks into a lot of sexiness, whether it's be trading back, potentially even trading into next year, trading and stockpiling a bunch of picks where they already have that extra 4th-rounder from the Bills. Why not, put a little something away for a rainy day? Potentially, yeah. And I know fans do get upset when Rick trades back. I mean, we're watching the draft. Din, 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 din. We all get excited. Here we go. Then Roger Goodell, stupid fridge box, gets out there. He's like, the Vikings have traded the pick. I mean, the 3rd round last year, it was murder. Vikings trade back. Oh, they take Alexander Madison. It wasn't bad. Although trading back did give the Vikings ammunition to move up in the 4th and take Drew Samia, which is nice. And, this is much different, say, turning a 1st into a early 2nd and 2/3 or something like that. It's a lot different than, turning a 6 into a couple of 7s, right? So this ain't that. But frankly, I think there are probably about 14 to 15 elite prospects in this year's draft. I mean, yeah, some could fall through the cracks just by positions of need. There's always a quarterback tax, could be a run on tackles as well. So one of them could fall 22. And if one of them does fall there, great. Go ahead, take the pick. But, I mean, there's a tier of about 30 to 40 players who could go from picks anywhere from like 15 to 45 or 60. And I would not be shocked at all, whatever the order is. So if the Vikings have the opportunity to, again, if one of those falling stars don't fall, and if there is some demand at the pick where the Vikings obviously don't need a quarterback, or do they? Or Vikings obviously don't need an edge, or do they? And if they can flip it for some premium draft capital, I say do it. So that's in my boat right now. Or hell, let's trade up in 14 and get CeeDee Lamb. Why not? But your thoughts, trading back, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. You want to support the work, pull us some in the Venmo, plus give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time, Skull, production value.